Hey folks, welcome back to Road Hard Restorations. It is Tuesday, it's hot, and I have 3 days to pick one of these cars and get it ready for the Duct Tape Drags 2024. Hey folks, I don't know if I showed this car to you or not. It's a 1964 Ford Fairlane. I bought this almost a year ago. It was at the Duct Tape Drags 2023. And I think it made a pass. There's the number there. It is a crew cab. And the gentleman I purchased the vehicle from shortly after the event, moving out of state, couldn't take it with him. And this is one of my favorite 60s Fords, sans four-door here and here. Okay, what we got here is a little 302, and boy is it dusty. It's got a or had a nitrous setup. That's where that bottle came from, if you saw it in the background of other videos. Got the line lock. It's got disc brakes up front converted over. Got a nice little aluminum radiator. Iron heads, stock manifolds. But it does open exhaust. Got a newer Holley 4-bubble carbonator. And yeah, so it's not much there. Just pretty straightforward. Oh, it's got a Chinesium intake manifold on there. Then we have the HEI, which I do not like on the Fords. They just, I don't know, the Chevy thing, I guess. They work good, but I'd just rather have a stock Ford distributor on there, personally. So this thing hasn't been ran in quite some time. Let's get this battery hooked up, see if we have any sparkles here. Now, there's no water in the radiator, so I can't let it run for any length of time, but we shall see. Oh yeah, this thing has some nasty shag carpeting. All right, so this 302 is mated with an FMX transmission. Nobody makes a shifter for the FMX, so this is probably like for a C4, C6. But what that means is the positions here don't match the transmission, so you got to kind of play with the positioning of the shifter to get into the right gear you need. Let's see if we have power here. That's the promising. Try to get some starting fluid here. Okay, there we go. Oil pressure's good. All right, let's open the garage and get it in there. I pulled the Fairlane into the garage, as you can see here. Let's kind of look through it a little bit closer, see if it's a viable candidate to take to the Duct Tape Drags. So let's dig into it a little bit. So we got a 302 or 5.0. It's a roller motor. However, it's got a flat tappet comp cam in it with new springs. Obviously, the engine actually starts up and idles fairly decent. The shifter, it leaves much to be desired because I'm sitting there fishing for the gear. and that's kind of a pain, but we can manage that. It does have already a line lock for burnouts, and I could potentially see if my slicks up there will fit it. Same bolt pattern, but I have a big offset on those wheels. I don't know if they'll fit this car or not. Allegedly, this thing was pulled out of a junkyard. The gentleman I bought it from started fixing it up. Well, in other words, getting it running for the Duct Tape Drags 2023. I think he wanted to turn it into a legit drag car. You can see in roadkill fashion, he's got the list of to-dos crossed off. I don't know if he ever got that finished. There's still a bottle bracket in the trunk, and a line going from the front to the rear. There's the bottle that came with it. I like these. It says a little wing built into it, so that way when you're driving, it puts more downforce on your wiper blades to clean your window more efficiently. Don't know if anybody ever seen those before. Had a few sets of those. So all in all, the car's actually not too bad. A little bit of a crease back here, a little bit of bubbling down here, but nothing really major. The floors are in really good shape. License plate, not sure what happened there. Looks like maybe a tow truck or something. Maybe the forklift got a hold of it. Lenses are solid. Pretty much all the trim's in good shape. Fairlane 500. All right, we have a brand new disc brake upgrade. We have transmission lines coiled up. There's a fuel line resting on the sway bar. Take a look around the back. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. There's some little cancer in the fender. That's pretty typical. All right, there is the FMX. So it looks like these bars here were used to fabricate a transmission mount. Oh, okay. Yeah. Guess that works. Got a driveline loop, so I'm legal to run slicks. Looks like the put in a new drive shaft. And the rear end allegedly has, it is an 8-inch, not an 8.8, but an 8-inch. The rear end allegedly has a 410 gear set with a spool. So that's cool. So I thought initially when I looked under here, I thought these were subframe connectors. I mean, it sort of does connect part of it. The subframe connectors are supposed to connect the front unibody frame section to the rear unibody frame rail section. These obviously do not do that. But it looks like a nice solid, if not over-engineered method to mount the wrong transmission in the car. All right, here's the underneath the back of the car. You did put a brand new fuel tank in there. That's amazing. I didn't even know you can get a fuel tank for this car. Look at those meats. Holy cow. Got new shocks. They look like just some stock replacement ones. How much room do we have? I think these are 275s. And we got plenty of clearance. All right, these tires are 275, 40, 17s. Not sure what the condition is here. Man, this thing's seen better days for sure. All of this had this shag carpet on it. I mean, look at this door panel here. There's just shag carpet all over the place. The whole interior, I guess, was covered. Unfortunately, we're missing the bottom of the back seat. Just kind of a bummer. Being a four-door, you'd want that. So what can we do here for... Oh yeah, there's the brand new aftermarket wiring harness. Let's see what's in here. It's not a lot. It's more dust. We have a high beam switch here. We have lights, electric fan to arm the nitrous. This is your ignition. I don't think any of these are hooked up. We have your triple pack gauges, a tachometer here. So, oh, and a fancy chrome pedal. Now I haven't really actually done a whole lot of digging around on this car. I started to mount this passenger seat because I have the mate to it back here. I was going to put them both in here and then pull this out for something else. So I was hoping to put a harness bar in here from the B pillar or the center pillar to the other side, but that's going to move my seat way up, and it's actually in a comfortable spot where it's sitting now. So that's not going to work. I suppose I could weld some plates up in here somewhere, or run a harness bar across and then run my straps forward, but I don't like that idea either. I can borrow the shoulder belt out of the Mustang, but I would need to put an anchor up here somewhere. And just for one race, I don't know if I want to do that. See, these straps here are not rated SFI or whatever you call it. They're not rated for drag racing. They're more of a something you'd put in a side-by-side or something in sand dunes. Alright guys, I don't think this is going to be the one, mainly because of the seatbelt situation. I mean, these might pass. I mean, I guess he ran with them last year, but I don't know, these aren't exactly made for going down the drag strip. It's more for like a side-by-side or something. So, and I don't like how they're mounted down here. They're supposed to be mounted back behind the shoulder. So, short of putting in a hoop, a couple down bars, and a harness bar, I don't think, and then going to buy a new harness, or put in a factory style, 3-point seat belt. I suppose these will probably work in lieu of that. Maybe these aren't. I don't know. I hate to get over there with these and then say, oh, you can't run with those. So I think we're going to go with the Mustang. All right, sorry, I don't think this car is going to make it this year to the duct tape drags. Bring the Mustang. With the seatbelt situation here, and I have no idea anything about this transmission, the engine, or anything. I know a lot of guys just put it together the night before and run it. But I just want to enjoy my time over there, and we'll see what the Mustang looks like. But before we pull this thing out of the garage, I want to go ahead and jack it up. I have some rollers that I can put on the back of this, get those American Racings off of there, get them cleaned up. So I wanted to pull out the rest of the nitrous line while it's here, because I'm not going to run nitrous on this car. So I'll put it with the bottle, and we'll see, either for a future project or it'll be for sale, one or the other. So, all right, let's get busy. All right, so this thing allegedly has a spool with some 410 gears. So let's count them here. Valve stem's at the top on this one, okay. There's one. There's two. There's three. And four. Okay, that is, yeah. Definitely has some 410 gears, so very cool. These big meats, it's kind of tricky getting these off of here, I'm sure. Let's see how this works. Okay, so far so good. And then tilt it outward. Okay, cool. These say 17 by 10.5. Nice. This one, these are dry rotted. I've never seen tires more dry rotted than this. This is crazy. I mean, that are still holding there anyway. These are 245, 45, 17 off of a newer Mustang. Obviously have tons of clearance here. Lots of clearance in the back. The offset on this is such that it sucks the wheel in, so it looks kind of goofy, but it'll be fine for a roller. Not rubbing the e-brake cable. Those other big meats over there were rubbing the e-brake cable. All right, I just hope these tires don't pop as soon as I put weight down on them. So far, so good. Funny thing about Arizona tires and rubber is they're only dry rotted on the outside. I'm sure if you take the tire off the wheel, the inside's just fine. I'm gonna see if those newer Mustang wheels will fit on the front of this thing. I do have wheel spacers if I need to. Just a roller to keep it all on 4 of the same wheels. That way I'll have all 4 of these other wheels here. I can sell them or whatever. At least I'll have a match set. Oh, looks like I got an oil leak. Surprise, surprise. I may want to rob those stainless steel braided transmission lines for the Duster. That might not be a bad idea. Man, I hate to part out a running and driving car, but some of its parts is worth more than the car itself, unfortunately, because it's a 4-door. If I could find a 2-door donor, that would be amazing. Or let's use this for a donor for a 2-door, I should say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have big old wheel spacers. These actually came on my 67 Mustang. That came with these wheels. I promptly removed them. Not exactly the right look for that car, is it? Oh well, at least they all match. All right, one of the things that I wanted to try to fix on this car is the bumper. It's just kind of bugging me that it's bent like that. I'm gonna see if I can remedy that real quick. And before I start cranking on this thing, I want to make sure I'm not pushing up on the fender. Nope. It is attached to the fender, but just with a little bracket. What you want to do is you want to go past where you want to go. Wow. That didn't do it, did it? Give it a little bit of oomph there. Alrighty, let's grab a hammer. That's a little better. Let's get the end here. Man, it's acting like it's almost there. Well, it's making progress. A little bit there, almost. Let me turn the wheel a little bit. So close. Trying to get it stay level. Every little bit keeps getting closer. There we go. That is, I think, gonna be good enough. Let's go one more time. It's still a little bit down. There we go. That'll work. Not perfect, but at least it's not all droopy. All right, got everything done that I wanted to on the Fairlane. Let's go park it back in its spot. Go get the Mustang, bring it in. Ugh. She is filthy. Think I might pressure wash this here before we get going. But let's see if we can get this thing fired up. Still has the number from last year. I have not ran this car in probably 6 months, so we'll see if it'll even want to start. Battery's any good or not. Please start. Nope, I think we got the battery. Dadgummit. All right, now that I got the Fairlane back in its parking spot, went ahead and robbed the battery out of it. And put it in the Mustang. Looks like trash, but yeah, let's see if it works. Looks like I gotta hook up my neutral safety switch. All right, let's get a shot of ether here. I have no pump shot out of the front. Okay, well, I was able to keep it running just off the starter fluid, but I got to looking down here. That hose going into the fuel filter looks like it's wet. So I think I might have a broken hose right there, sucking air. So that would explain why I'm not getting any fuel. So let me go ahead and fix that hose. We'll see what where we're at. All right, so we finally got the starting issue figured out. Turns out it was out of gas. Now, I didn't park the car out of gas. I did find this hose that had a big old split in it. And this is the lowest point in the whole fuel system. So when you disconnect this hose from the fuel line that enters the engine compartment, that's actually the lowest point in the fuel system. So just gravity just drained the tank little by little through this little crack. Because like I said, the car's probably been sitting maybe 6 months. So it's plenty of time for it to drain the tank into the ground, unfortunately. That's the only explanation, because I wouldn't have parked it with an empty tank. So went and got 5 gallons of gas, changed out the hose, filled up the bowls, and just fired right off, and it runs good. So no worries, nothing big, just frustrating is all. You know, I don't drive these very often. I probably should a little bit more, but when you go to drive it and it just gives you problems every time you go to drive it, it's kind of frustrating. But that's what happens when you let them sit. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, before I pulled it in, my son helped me wash the car. We just used Dawn dish soap and some water, warm water out of the hose, because here in Arizona the groundwater is just still warm or hot even. We have like 2 knobs on the faucet. We have hot and scalding in your bathroom sink and stuff. So we washed the car, like I said, with Dawn dish soap and some used red Scotch-Brites. And I was actually able to remove some more of the primer that was on here. But hosed down the engine compartment, got it all cleaned up, just put the little sticker on there just for the hell of it. Had it sit kicking around. I stuck it on there. But anyway, I just kind of thought I'd complete the look a little bit. But man, this thing needs some detailing for sure. But anywho, we are in business, ready to go. There's just one thing that I need to address. I got this wire right here. It's just basically hot wired together. It doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to unplug it from here. And then I should have another wire right here. It goes in here. Now I have a neutral safety switch. So this being a stick shift, you have to push the clutch in for the starter to engage. And when you're troubleshooting under the hood using a remote starter button, you can't be in the car pushing the clutch pedal. So I just bypass it with this little jumper, and we're good to go. But the track is going to require it to have a neutral safety, so I take that back off and reconnect my neutral safety switch. So this car, when I bought it, was rattle can gray primer. You can still see a lot of it kind of all over the place. And a lot of it just scrubbed off with a red Scotch-Brite. I think I took some like a DA to it with like some 600 or 400 grit paper, and just knocked it up, most of it off. I mean, you still see it goes through the factory primer, and then you know, a lot of bare metal in spots. But hey, that's okay. So this is actually a night mist blue, and obviously it's all dull because, you know, took a lot of it off with the sanding and whatnot. But if you noticed when a little bit ago when I pulled the car in, it was still wet. It looked nice and shiny. It actually looked pretty good. So I've got a surprise. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and make this car shiny, or attempt to, using Vice Grip Garage's Shine Juice. Actually, let me go get my hat. Might as well go full fanboy here. There we go. So we're going to use the Shine Juice. We got the kit here. We've actually bought this last year at the Duct Tape Drags. I'm going to save the can. Even got an autograph on there. You know, I don't think I've even opened this up yet. Let's see what it says. Probably just instructions. Oh, it is. Just the directions. All right, cool. So I will read that. It's a cute little token. So I'll read the instructions and get to working on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and do a whole nother video on the Shine Juice. And you will see this completed this weekend at the Duct Tape Drags. So I'm going to do this right now. Yep. We're going to make it shiny. Make cars shiny again. Kind of like this one. This one's getting there. Nice and shiny. Oh, yes. Patina is French for can't paint. I think that's about all I need to do to get this car ready for the Duct Tape Drags. Now it's just time to load it up onto the trailer. But before they do that, I'm going to go ahead and do a transformation on the look of this thing. So you'll see that on a future video, as well as at the drag strip at the Duct Tape Drags 2024 in Tucson Dragway this coming weekend. And I hope to see you there.